Randy Orton didn't come back to SummerSlam to settle a grudge. He came back to do a job. I don't think Cody Rhodes lost his shot at the Undisputed Championship because Randy Orton couldn't let go of WrestleMania. I think Cody Rhodes lost that shot because somebody above both of them decided months ago that he wasn't allowed to win it. And once you look at everything WWE has done around Cody Rhodes over the last few weeks, that stops sounding crazy and starts sounding like the only explanation that actually fits. Let's talk about what really happened at SummerSlam. Welcome back to WWE Galaxy. I'm Nova. Before you tell me this is just wrestling and I'm overthinking a finish, hear me out, because this one isn't about who's stronger or who deserved it more. This is about business. Real business. The kind that happens in boardrooms, not rings. And once you see the pieces laid out next to each other, I don't think you'll be able to unsee them either. Start with what Cody Rhodes actually walked out to at SummerSlam. He came down that aisle dressed as Guile, straight out of his upcoming Street Fighter movie. Fans loved it. It looked like a victory lap for a guy who's become a legitimate mainstream star outside of wrestling. But that entrance wasn't just a cool moment for the crowd. It doubled as a walking reminder to WWE's own front office that their undisputed champion, if Cody won that night, was about to be a Hollywood commodity with a press tour, a promotional schedule, and a studio calling some of the shots on his time. TKO doesn't like split loyalty on their top title, and definitely not right now, with SummerSlam streaming live on ESPN for the very first time, and every eye in the mainstream sports world watching to see what kind of company this is. You don't hand your biggest prize to a guy who might vanish for a multi-week Hollywood press run the second the bell rings. You hand it to someone who's going to show up every single week without fail. That's Punk. And that's the wrinkle nobody talks about, because look at who Punk actually is. This is a guy who spent his entire career fighting against exactly this kind of company control, walking out and calling out management on live television more than once. Handing the title to the one guy built around being difficult for the company isn't the move you make if you're trying to build a new golden boy. It's the move you make if you just need someone reliable holding the belt while you sort out a bigger problem somewhere else. Break down how Cody actually lost that title because the details matter. He didn't get pinned clean in the middle of the ring. Randy Orton had been gone from WWE television since WrestleMania, all the way back in April. 4 months of silence. No update, no explanation, nothing on any show in between. Then the exact night Cody Rhodes is 1 GTS away from becoming a 4-time champion, Orton reappears out of the crowd, RKO's him while the referee is down, and disappears again before anyone can even process it. That timing doesn't happen by accident. That's a company protecting a decision it already made somewhere else, long before that bell ever rang. And it fits a pattern that's already been set up for Cody this summer. Weeks before SummerSlam, Gunther jumped him backstage before a show even started, forcing Nick Aldis to scramble for a replacement and hand the title match to Punk instead of letting the planned build play out. That's twice now that Cody's been taken out by forces completely outside of a regular match, right at moments that happen to benefit the exact same outcome. Once is a coincidence, twice is a system, and systems in this business rarely run without someone signing off on them first. If you're catching what I'm laying out here, get subscribed to WWE Galaxy and hit that like button, because the next part is where this actually gets ugly for Cody. This isn't just about keeping Cody away from the title for one night. Watch how it positions him for the next 6 months instead. Rather than chasing a championship, Cody now has a deeply personal blood feud with Randy Orton sitting directly in front of him. And that's not an accident either. It's a distraction with a shelf life built right in. While Cody spends the next stretch of television trying to survive Orton, he's nowhere near the title picture, which gives WWE room to quietly build a new championship story around Punk without Cody anywhere in the frame. Punk isn't getting protected like the future of the company here either, if you look closely. He only ended up in that match in the first place because Gunther jumped Cody backstage and Nick Aldis needed an emergency replacement on short notice. Now Punk retains the title, but not off his own finish. He retains because Randy Orton did the work for him. That's not typically how you build a guy you're planning to run with long term. It's closer to how you keep a belt warm on someone until you're ready to hand it off to whoever's actually next in line. So follow the chain. Cody gets pulled out of the title picture without ever losing clean. Punk walks around with the belt, but with an asterisk attached that everybody watched happen live. Orton gets to look like the man who single-handedly changed the main event scene, when really, all he did was show up on cue. The timing backs it up too. This was night 1 of SummerSlam, streaming live on ESPN for the first time in company history, in front of the single biggest mainstream sports audience WWE has ever had access to. If you're trying to make headlines outside the usual wrestling media, ending the night with a shocking returning legend costing a Hollywood-adjacent star his title shot does exactly that. You don't sit a legend at home for 4 months and activate him on the one night you need a headline that big by luck. None of this is confirmed. No internal memo leaking out, no executive going on record about Cody's movie schedule being a problem for the company. What's real is the entrance, the Hollywood roll, the ESPN debut, the Gunther attack that put Punk in that match to begin with, and Orton's 4 months completely off television. The motive is my read on that, not something WWE has said out loud. So here's where I land on it. First, I don't think this is the end of Cody Rhodes chasing that title, but I do think WWE keeps him away from it for a while, tied up with Orton for the next few months instead of anywhere near Punk. Second, I think Punk gets treated exactly like a transitional champion here. Don't be shocked if his reign gets cut shorter than you'd expect once WWE has their next real plan lined up and ready to go. Third, I think Cody's Hollywood career keeps getting worked into this story instead of quietly ignored, because it's clearly already become part of how WWE is booking around him, whether they ever say so directly or not. Tell me what you think. Is WWE actually protecting their business by keeping their top title away from a guy with 1 foot in Hollywood? Or is this just a wrestling finish that I'm turning into something bigger than it actually is? Either way, watch how Cody gets used on television over the next few weeks. If he suddenly gets buried in an Orton storyline with zero mention of the championship anywhere near him, that's not proof, but it's exactly the kind of thing that would tell you I wasn't far off. Drop your theories in the comments below. If you want more of these real backstage breakdowns, get subscribed to WWE Galaxy. This is Nova, and I'll catch you in the next one.